Hello, everybody. Miss Debbie here. Nice to see you this evening as we settle into our winter and the nights are very long. The days get really short. But to ease us into long nights, we do have a series of bedtime stories. So look forward to seeing you each week for a new one on Tuesday. And once you're logged in, you could watch many, many story times, even ones that were recorded during the pandemic. And you could have stories at your fingertips. So let's begin. Have some good stories, new ones too, for us today. Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you today? I hope you're fine. I am fine. It's the time of year where we need to bundle up in our coats and our scarves and hats and mittens and just keep ourselves warm and keep ourselves healthy. Uh, why not? It's all good. I love the winter time, the sky, the sunset, the sunrise. The evening colors are gray and maybe a warm white or a light yellow as the sun is leaving. Sometimes there's pink up there. Though that's the time of day I love to go for a walk and see my neighbors who are also out walking. Just a little walk before it gets dark. So, and that's quite early. That's it's around supper time, really. So, whatever works, we'll get through winter all right. So, how was your day? Um, did you go to grandma's house or auntie's house, or did you go to the babysitter, school maybe, or just to a playmate's house? Sometimes my mommy takes me over to my friend's house to play. Sometimes she's gone a little while, and sometimes she's gone all day. But my mommy comes back, my mommy comes back, my mommy comes back to get me. My mommy comes back, she always comes back, she never would forget me. Ah, that song makes me feel really good. I love my mommy. I haven't seen my mommy in a long time and I miss her a lot, but I know she will never forget me. So, and I am somebody's mommy too, so there it goes, around and around. Let's do our little Thumbkin song. I don't think we did that last week. So, two hands, fist is your closed hand, put them in your lap. Where is Thumbkin? Where is Thumbkin? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. Where is Pointer? Where is Pointer? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. The next finger I call Tall Lady, and I love to think of her as a queen, an African or an Egyptian queen, very tall, with a very tall type of crown on her head. Where is Tall Lady? Where is Tall Lady? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, ma'am? Very well, I thank you. Stride away, stride away. Where is Ringman? Where is Ringman? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. What's our last finger called? If you said pinky, you're absolutely right. Where is Pinky? Where is Pinky? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, dude? Very well, I thank you. Skip away. Skip away. Okay. So let's get ready for bed. get your jammies on, um, snuggle in to the Lily White's party, snuggle into your nice, freshly made bed. And but before we hop in bed, we have to do a few things. This is the way we wash our face, wash our face, wash our face. This is the way we wash our face before we go to bed. This is the way we brush our teeth, brush our teeth, brush our teeth. This is the way we brush our teeth before we go to bed. This is the way we comb our hair, comb our hair, comb our hair. This is the way we comb our hair before we go to bed. This is the way we blow a kiss, blow a kiss, blow a kiss. This is the way we blow a kiss before we go to bed. Oh, so our first book this evening is a brand new book called Have You Eaten? It's a story of food, friendship, and kindness by Soo-Yun Lee, a Korean tale. And before I get into it, I'd like to tell you, here's the author. Here's the author who wrote the book, Soo-Yun Lee. It's a very, very beautiful book. So this is what, let's see. Okay. In Korea, the author says, we often greet family, friends, or even people we've just met by asking, have you eaten? It's not simply asking if someone ate a meal. It's the same as asking, how are you? How are you today, sir? Have you eaten today, sir? So, it's become a widely used greeting. To show concern about another person, Koreans ask, have you eaten? Well, in light that we just had our big eating holiday called Thanksgiving, where we gather with family and friends and special people, even everyday people are our special people. And we share eating. And it's a wonderful thing, especially if the food is good. So, Coco loved sweet potatoes. Now you can see the wallpaper in her room is decorated with sweet potatoes, and she even has a sweet potato doll. And she loved to share sweet potatoes. There she is buying them from the box, baking them in the oven, and at the end, when they're all baked, you peel off the top skin, and then you can munch into your sweet potato. So she loved to share them with everyone around her. Every morning, Coco attended a painting class. One day, she noticed a new student, Caroline, sitting alone. Oh, there's Caroline sitting alone. Did you ever feel alone like that? How's your painting going? Coco asked. Not well. I'm out of white ink, but I don't know who to ask for more, said Caroline. Why don't you use mine? Coco asked. Have you eaten? Coco offered Caroline a sweet potato. As they ate together, Caroline no longer felt lonely. She felt like she had found a friend. Don't you love this book already? After painting class, Coco headed to the library. She noticed the twins, Ping and Pong, stacking books while their mother, Popo, tried to get them to read. So Ping and Pong are not doing the right thing with books. They're standing on them and things like that, building a fort. Look at the librarian in the background, kind of giving them a don't do that look. You know how to behave in the library. Hello, twins. How are you doing? Asked Coco. We're building a fort, they replied, but the books keep falling down. Well, building a fort is a lot of work. Have you eaten? Coco offered Popo and the twins sweet potatoes. As they ate together, Ping and Pong no longer felt tired. They felt like they could do anything. And here is Coco reading them a story while they're eating their sweet potatoes. In the evening, Coco exercised in the park. Didn't we just talk about taking a walk in the evening? Look, the sky is a soft pink and blue color. The shadows on the sidewalk are long. That means the sun is setting. And like I said, it's my favorite time of day. So in the evening, when Coco exercised in the park, she noticed Pokey crying on a bench. What's wrong, Pokey? Asked Coco. And here he is. He looks kind of like Humpty Dumpty. I struck out again, sniffed Pokey. I think our baseball team lost because of me. It's okay to feel bad, but you'll get another chance. Have you eaten? I'm not in the mood to eat, said Pokey. No thanks. But guess what? His tummy was rumbling. Coco reached into her bag and pulled out 2 sweet potatoes. Coco offered Pokey a sweet potato. As they ate together, Pokey no longer felt sad. He felt like he could try again. The next day, Caroline went to painting class. She wanted to thank Coco for keeping her company, but Coco wasn't there. Popo, Ping, and Pong searched for Coco at the library. They wanted to read a book with Coco, but she wasn't there either. Pokey ran around the park. He wanted to tell Coco that his team had won, but he couldn't find her anywhere. Where was Coco? Coco was in bed, sick. She felt lonely, tired, and sad. See, when you're sick, you're all alone and you feel lonely. And you don't feel well, you feel tired, and you do feel sad. Just as Coco was about to fall asleep, she heard the doorbell ring. Who could that be? Coco wondered. It was Caroline, Popo, Ping, Pong, and Pokey. Oh, Coco, have you eaten? They asked. And here she is, wrapped up in her sickbed blanket, answering the door. Caroline brought a lemon to make lemonade. Popo and the twins brought ingredients to make chicken soup. And Pokey brought ice to cool down Coco's fever. So ice cool lemonade and chicken soup. Yum. As Coco watched her new friends cook, she no longer felt lonely, tired, and sad. They were happy to share their food, and Coco was happy to have them as friends. Coco's friends finally understood why Coco asked her question, and soon it became their favorite question too. Have you eaten? And my question is, have you eaten? Isn't that the sweetest book in the world? Maybe we'll have to read it again sometime, because I just love it. Oh, let's see. So that makes me feel good, and I'm thinking of a song that makes us feel good that we like to sing. It's our sit down, getting ready for bed version of If You're Happy and You Know It. If you're happy and you know it, blow a kiss. If you're happy and you know it, blow a kiss. If you're happy and you know it, you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, blow a kiss. Mwah. If you're happy and you know it, give a hug to yourself or somebody else. If you're happy and you know it, give a hug. If you're happy and you know it, your heart will surely show it. Here I have a heart on. If you're happy and you know it, give a hug. If you're happy and you know it, wink your eye, wink, wink. If you're happy and you know it, wink your eye, wink, wink. If you're happy and you know it, then your heart will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, wink your eye, wink, wink. If you're happy and you know it, call out sweet dreams, sweet dreams. If you're happy and you know it, call sweet dreams, sweet dreams. If you're happy and you know it, your heart will always show it. If you're happy and you know it, call sweet dreams, sweet dreams. As we get ready for our own bedtime and our own sweet dreams. Oh, because day is done, gone the sun, from the land, from the hills, from the sky, all is well, safely rest, sleep is nigh. Do you fall asleep on your back, or curl up on your side, or on your tummy? Anyway is good that's comfortable for you. Oh, yeah. And I've watched the night sky now. Guess who comes out right away? Twinkle. Starlight, star bright. First star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Good night, Twinkle. Twinkle's still awake in the morning, too, but in the daytime, he goes to sleep. He needs a little shut-eye himself. And our happy feel-good song is Skid-a-ma-rink-a-dink-a-dink, skid-a-ma-rink-a-doo. I love you. Skid-a-ma-rink-a-dink-a-dink, skid-a-ma-rink-a-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the big old beautiful white moon. Skid-a-ma-rink-a-dink-a-dink, skid-a-ma-rink-a-doo. I love you. Cha-cha-cha. Alrighty. Time for our next book. This is such a fun book. Carrot and Pea, An Unlikely Friendship by Morag Hood. So, Morag lives in Scotland. So first we had a book by a Korean author, and now a Scottish author. Do you like carrots and peas? I love peas. Carrots, not so much. So here's a bunch of peas and here's a carrot stick. I'll bet you eat carrot sticks, though. And you know what? If you go to Scotland or Ireland, they serve mushy peas, which is just like it sounds. So they take peas and they mush them up, and that's how you eat them. I love them. A lot of people don't. But have you eaten? I love food. This is Lee. Lee is a pea. What color is Lee? Correct. Lee is green. All of Lee's friends are peas, and they're all green. except Colin. Colin is not green. Colin is orange. You're right, orange. Colin is not a pea. He's a carrot stick. He is much too tall to be a pea and much too orange. He can't roll. Did you ever see a pea roll off your plate? Bye. He can't bounce. And he isn't very good at hide and seek. He sticks out like a orange carrot. But Colin is an excellent tower. If they wanted to play Rapunzel or Romeo and Juliet or something like that. He is a fantastic bridge, and he makes a great slide. Colin isn't at all like Lee and the other peas. And that's just the way they like it. Now, my mother would say, because she would serve peas and carrots, that's a vegetable you can buy in the frozen food department. Eat every carrot and pea on your plate. Peas and carrots. Well, it's getting to be time for Lily White's party, my favorite time of the day. Do you still take naps? Some people take naps. Naps are good if it's a rainy day or if you're chilly and a little bit cold. It's good to just snuggle into bed and listen to some sleepy time stories. That's a good thing. You can always have Miss Debbie's stories. Just curl up anytime. So, but you might say, I'm not ready for bed. I don't want to go to Lily White's party. Well, good. We'll have another book. And this I picked out special for you. It's called Mrs. Toggle and the Dinosaur by Robin Pulver. This is an old book. If you've come to the library during November, you'll know that we've called it Dino-vember. So there are some dinosaur activities going on in the children's room, and you can always borrow a dinosaur book. Mrs. Toggle and the Dinosaur, and here are the kids going into school. Do you go to school yet? You could go to preschool or daycare school. That's Mrs. Toggle coming into her classroom, turning on the light. When Mrs. Toggle's children arrived at school in the morning, they found their teacher talking on her telephone. All right, Mr. Stickler, they heard her say. We'll handle this as best we can, but I wish we had more time to get ready. She hung up the phone. Good morning, Mrs. Toggle, the children said in their best morning voices. Mrs. Toggle sank down into her chair. Her eyes were as big around as donuts, and then she blurted out one word. Dinosaur! Can you tell what time of year it is? Look at this little boy is holding up a leaf. Then you know, look at outside the window. Leaves are falling off of the trees. It's autumn, just like we have now. The children gathered round Mrs. Toggle's desk. Mrs. Toggle, said Paul, why did you say dinosaur? Mrs. Toggle shivered. We're going to have a new student, she said. It's a dinosaur. But dinosaurs don't go to school, said Joey. I heard it from the principal himself, said Mrs. Toggle. Mr. Stickler is never wrong. That's right, agreed Nina, and he doesn't joke either. Caroline asked, when is the dinosaur coming? Today, said Mrs. Toggle. Oh, I knew things were too good to be true. Such a nice class and just the right size. Now this. The custodian, Mr. Abel, poked his head in the classroom door. "Excuse me, Mrs. Toggle," he said. "Mr. Stickler asked me to bring a desk for your new student." The children and Mrs. Toggle went to the door to look. Mrs. Toggle shook her head. "I'm not sure this desk will do." "It isn't big enough," said Joey. "Didn't Mr. Stickler tell you?" asked Nina. "The new student is a dinosaur," said Paul. "I see," said Mr. Abel. "A dinosaur will need a special desk. I'll get busy building one." "Thank you, Mr. Abel," said Mrs. Toggle. "Now I wonder what else we should get ready." "Why don't you go to the library?" "Why don't you go to the library?" suggested Mr. Abel. "You could read all about dinosaurs. Looking things up in books always helps me." So Mrs. Toggle and her children hurried to the library. Mr. Page, the librarian, greeted them. "Mrs. Toggle," he said, "it's not your library day, is it?" "You are quite right, Mr. Page," said Mrs. Toggle, "but we have an emergency." She told Mr. Page all about her new student, the dinosaur. "That's wonderful," said Mr. Page. "There's nothing like a real event to encourage learning." He showed Mrs. Toggle and the children the shelf of dinosaur books. "You can find everything you need to know right here." Mrs. Toggle looked doubtful. "Is there a book about how to teach a dinosaur?" she asked. "You might have to write that one," admitted Mr. Page. Mrs. Toggle and the children settled down at a table with their dinosaur books. "Dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago," Caroline read out loud. Mrs. Toggle nodded. "Except this one, apparently." Caroline added, "Some dinosaurs like to live in groups with other dinosaurs." Nina spoke up. "Then our dinosaur might be lonely. We should be nice to it and not choose it last for dodgeball teams." "Yes," agreed Paul. "It would be the only reptile in our class. Being different can be difficult." "Hey," said Joey, "snakes are reptiles. We could get a snake for our room to keep the dinosaur company." Mrs. Toggle's face grew pale and her eyes started to get big again. Ooh, oh, look what's coming off the page. The dinosaur is coming out of the book. "Or we could get a turtle," suggested Nina quickly. "I don't think Mrs. Toggle wants a snake." "Oh, sure," said Joey, patting Mrs. Toggle's arm. "We could get a turtle instead." Mrs. Toggle smiled faintly. Caroline said, "The word dinosaur means terrible lizard." Mrs. Toggle groaned. "Not too terrible, I hope," she said. "Some dinosaurs were fierce, but some were peaceful and quiet. Perhaps our dinosaur will be the peaceful kind. Come, children, we had better return to our room to get ready. Thank you for your help, Mr. Page." And what's coming off of that dinosaur book? The dinosaur is escaping the book. "You're welcome," said Mr. Page. "You might stop by the cafeteria and warn Mrs. Burns. If it's a big dinosaur, it probably eats a lot." So Mrs. Toggle and the children trooped into the school kitchen. They found the cook, Mrs. Burns, tossing pizza dough. "Mrs. Burns," said Mrs. Toggle, "have you heard about the new student?" "Of course," replied Mrs. Burns. "Every year we have new students." "But this one is a dinosaur," said Mrs. Toggle. "We thought you'd want to know," explained Joey, "because it might eat a lot." "A dinosaur?" Mrs. Burns laughed. "That's a good one, Mrs. Toggle. But I won't worry about it until I find out if this dinosaur is a meat eater or a vegetarian." And here is Mrs. Burns tossing the pizza dough in the air, and look who's following the children down the hall. That pesky imaginary dinosaur. The children and Mrs. Toggle left Mrs. Burns, who was laughing hard and putting pepperoni on pizza. I wish I could laugh about my problems the way Mrs. Burns does, Mrs. Toggle told the children. Look at that dinosaur following them. The kids know it's there, but Mrs. Toggle doesn't. Back at their room, Mrs. Toggle and the children found Mr. Stickler waiting for them. Mrs. Toggle, said Mr. Stickler, your new student has arrived. Mr. Stickler, said Mrs. Toggle, I know I will learn to love my new student, as I love all my students. Still, I'm worried. Are you sure there isn't enough room in our school for this dino? Oh, look at that big imaginary dinosaur going through the door. Mrs. Toggle, Mr. Stickler interrupted. I'm surprised at you. Of course we make room in our school for any student who moves here. That's the rule. Mrs. Toggle sighed. Oh, all right. Where is my new student? And here are the children riding on the neck of their big imaginary dinosaur. Your new student is right here, said Mr. Stickler. A little girl peeked out from behind him. But, gasped Mrs. Toggle, this is no dinosaur. Of course, this is Dinah Sawyer, replied Mr. Stickler. A little shy, but she'll get over it. Dinah said she's afraid her new teacher won't like her. Mrs. Toggle's eyes widened with delight. Dinah Sawyer? Did you say Dinah Sawyer? Oh my goodness, what a lovely, lovely name. I thought, oh, not like her? Of course I like her. We all like Dinah very much indeed, don't we, children? Mrs. Toggle smiled broadly at her new student. She turned to Mr. Stickler. Thank you. Thank you so much. I couldn't be more pleased. Mr. Stickler returned to his office. Mrs. Toggle and the children showed the new student around the room. Dinah, said Mrs. Toggle, before we begin our lessons, I will tell you one thing I insist on. If I say something that doesn't make sense, ask questions. If you don't understand me the first time, ask me to repeat. Yes, Mrs. Toggle, said Dinah. Joey raised his hand. Mrs. Toggle, where is the dinosaur? There isn't one, said Mrs. Toggle. I was mistaken. Too bad, said Joey. Can we still get a turtle? And here's Mr. Abel, who built a desk for a dinosaur. The end. This book was recommended to me by my friend Judy at the library. So, you can always ask Judy for a book recommendation. And now, it's time to go hippity-hop to bed. I'd rather stay up instead. Now I'm wide awake. I've had so many stories. When Mother says must, there's nothing but just go hippity-hop to bed. We are going to end with a brand new song that I hope that we all can learn by heart. It's an old folk song called Cat Goes Fiddle-I-Fee. And I want to learn it too because I think this is fun to sing. The book is a little hard to open. That's what happens. So Cat Goes Fiddle-I-Fee, it's adapted and illustrated by Paul Galdone. And Paul Galdone is a great reinventor of, like, say, Mother Goose rhymes for kids, like Three Little Kittens Lost Their Mittens, or The Little Red Hen, or Three Little Pigs, things like that. Let's try this song. I had a cat and the cat pleased me. I fed my cat by yonder tree. Cat goes fiddle-I-fee. I had a hen and the hen pleased me. I fed my hen by yonder tree. Hen goes chimmy chuck, cat goes fiddle-I-fee. I had a duck and the duck pleased me. I fed my duck by yonder tree. Duck goes quack, quack. Hen goes chimmy chuck, cat goes fiddle-I-fee. I had a goose and the goose pleased me. I fed my goose by yonder tree. Goose goes swishy, swashy. Duck goes quack, quack. Hen goes chimmy chuck, cat goes fiddle-I-fee. I had a sheep and the sheep pleased me. I fed my sheep by yonder tree. Sheep goes ba ba. Goose goes swishy swashy. Duck goes quack quack. Hen goes chimmy chuck, cat goes fiddle-I-fee. I had a pig and the pig pleased me. I fed my pig by yonder tree. Pig goes griffy, gruffy. Sheep goes baa, baa. Goose goes swishy, swashy. Duck goes quack, quack. Hen goes chimmy chuck, cat goes fiddle-I-fee. Did you just notice that these books are about eating? Have you eaten today? I had a cow and the cow pleased me. I fed my cow by yonder tree. Cow goes moo, moo. Pig goes griffy, gruffy. Sheep goes ba, ba. Goose goes swishy, swashy. Duck goes quack, quack. Hen goes chimmy chuck, cat goes fiddle-I-fee. I had a horse and the horse pleased me. I fed my horse by yonder tree. Horse goes neigh, neigh. Cow goes moo, moo. Pig goes griffy, gruffy. Sheep goes ba, ba. Goose goes swishy, swashy. Duck goes quack, quack. Hen goes chimmy chuck, cat goes fiddle-I-fee. I had a dog and the dog pleased me. I fed my dog by yonder tree. Dog goes bow wow, bow wow. Horse goes neigh, neigh. Cow goes moo, moo. Pig goes griffy, gruffy. Sheep goes ba, ba. Goose goes swishy, swashy. Duck goes quack, quack. Hen goes chimmy chuck, cat goes fiddle-I-fee. Then Grandma came and she fed me, while the others dozed by yonder tree. And the cat went fiddle-I-fee. Bink. Good night. Sleep tight. I wish you sweet dreams, a good night's sleep, and a beautiful day tomorrow.